Later on, you will learn how to extract portions of a data frame. Let's say you want these 3 values here, these 3 and this 3 in here. So that's portion. Or maybe you just want one single value. In that case, you need to find a way to refer to that single value by coordinates. When I say by coordinates, I mean like by column name. So you'd be referring to name because you want this value of this column, and also you'd have to refer to the row. And for that, we have the index concept. In this case, you see in bold here that the index has been assigned by default by Pandas. So it starts from 0 always, the default index starts from 0 and so on. If you have your own index, such as in this case, I would like to assign ID as an index of this data, and later on when I show you how to refer to certain values, you'd be using that ID to refer to those values. So how to assign an index, a new index to your data? Well, you can do that with df8.set index, and then you assign the name of the column that has those values that you want to set as an index. So ID in that case, in my case. And this is what happens. Now here you have to be very careful because the set index operation is not an in-place operation, meaning that when you apply that method, it produces a new data frame, but just on the fly. It doesn't actually modify the existing data frame. So df8, the object remains the same as you see in here. Therefore, if you want to have the changes, you may want to create another variable where to store the new data frame. So this is actually equal to a new data frame with that index set in, and df9 now will be a permanent object, a permanent data frame with ID as index. There is also another way, if you like. You can still do the same thing and say in place equals to true. In that case, df8 is modified permanently, as you can see in here. However, here you have to be very, very cautious, because what's happening here is that at the moment df8 has as index column ID. Now, what happens if you set as index the address column instead? We're talking about df8. The address column is assigned successfully as an index. That's good. However, if you look for the ID column, it has disappeared. So what happens is that the setIndex method, it sets a new index, but the old index is not reassigned as a column. So ID is not reassigned as a column of a data frame. It just drops. It is deleted. However, there is a way to avoid that. What you can do is, let me repeat a similar operation. This time I want to set as ID the name in place equals to true, and the existing index is address. So we are setting name, the existing is address, and you have to say drop equal to false. So what happened here is that name remained as a column. Also, so it's an index, but it's also a column. However, address was deleted again, as you can see. So this actually drop equals to false tells Python not to drop as a column the column that you are setting as a new index. So please keep that in mind. Or just use the other method where you create a new variable. It depends on the scenario, but yeah, please keep those things in mind.